And first, we want to take you to that story from Longmont. Police staying at a residence inn. They had a very uneasy night. Good evening. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. Thank you for joining us. Turns out one of the guests was a parolee who had spent years behind bars for murder.
He set off some kind of explosive which heavily damaged a room and started a fire. Denver 7's Lance Hernandez spoke with guests and with police.
I was in the lobby actually just doing Zoom classes, right? And I just kept seeing a bunch of cops throughout the whole day coming in.
Tristan Guerrero and several other cross-country runners from California were staying at the hotel.
My friends actually were like running around the Residence Inn, and they came back and they were like, there's a SWAT team out there with rifles and stuff like that, with guns.
They had no idea Leon Gladwell, a parolee who had spent 22 years in prison for the brutal murder of his grandmother, was now living at the Residence Inn and causing problems. Longmont's core team, including an officer, mental health professional, and paramedics, was sent in.
So they came down to check on him. It didn't go well.
The core team tried to de-escalate the situation and was able to disarm Gladwell of his knives. Gladwell then went back into his room and refused to communicate.
He exploded, at this point, an unknown item in the room that had a significant fireball.
The explosion blew out the windows and started a fire.
And then all of a sudden the fire alarm went off and we're like, what the heck is happening?
Hotel guests were evacuated, the suspect not cooperating.
And around 8:41 last night, he came to a window with a device, some sort of device in his hand, and officer fired at that individual.
Police later gained entry to the room, which had been barricaded shut. They arrested Gladwell.
Communication is a two-way street.
Deputy Chief Satter says the core team is usually very effective unless the suspect absolutely refuses to communicate.
Then we have to respond to the person by the way they react to us.
No one else was injured. The suspect was arrested and is being treated for a gunshot wound to the upper torso. Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.